So we might be in for a moment here. We might be in for something of a climax as soon as we leave this island. We have our culprit, who appears to have slipped into some sort of borderline coma as a result of severe trauma and shock and general medical mistreatment for long periods of time. And rather than leave someone here to watch over him, we're just going to leave. We're just going to up and outski. The two of us are going to bail on the situation, come back and collect him with the full force of the law in a little while. However, once we return to the island, from the island, I should say, there's a very real possibility that I myself am going to be arrested. I don't exactly know why and for what for specifically, but I know there is a group of police individuals awaiting my return, presumably the two who we spoke to in the whirling not so long ago. So it's all going to be very interesting. Let's see what happens.
ICM? This feels familiar somehow.
Kim, what is the ICM?
Insulindian Citizens Militia. It's the official name of the Communards Army, the Black and White Army of the Revolution.
Sounds an awful lot like.
RCM. It sounds like RCM, Revachol, Citizens Militia.
It does.
Why?
The RCM may descend from the ICM.
May.
It's impossible to say. It was chaos after the war. The name was good for getting people to join us. Revachol West was mostly workers and criminals.
So we were the communists?
Nice political thoughts rush through your neocortex. A mediocre athlete would pant from dragging around his body on a busted crutch. But not you. You're thinking about politics, with blood dripping down your thigh.
What I'm hearing is we descend from the glorious Revolutionary Army.
There were all sorts of groups and groupuscules back then. It doesn't really matter.
Well, it looks old. What's it still doing here?
After 44 years? That's not nearly enough to hide what happened here, Lieutenant Gefreiter. One of these barrels was still leaking fuel, as you saw. The city is full of things like this. Old bullets, guns, fuel.
Okay. Okay. That as may be.
The skiff is swaying on the waves by the dock.
Let's return to the mainland.
Let's. We are done here.
He says, adjusting his glasses as he looks out over the water.
The skiff rocks gently under your weight as you get in. The ride back is uneventful and quiet.
I mean, I could have turned the boombox back on, but I guess that wasn't an actual option.
But for the sound of conversation on the water, there is someone inland waiting for you.
There is.
2 men and a woman stand on the concrete square of a nameless village, looking at a small yellow boat as it draws closer. The sea is calm. You reach the jetty and climb out of the skiff.
Lillian's gone. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Harry, we're here because we're worried,
Look what the tide brought him.
says the man without sunglasses. Suddenly his expression changes and he tilts his head.
Harry, you're bleeding all over the place. You're half dead.
That's fine.
Whatever this is, it is completely unimportant compared to what you've just seen. This is the man with sunglasses from the whirling in rags. But where are his sunglasses?
No one else seems bothered by the bleeding.
Bothered by it? Harry, you look like you need a fucking organ transplant. Oh, fuck it. Let's not get into that.
Right, who are you people?
Hello, I'm Trent Heilerstein. I believe we've met on several occasions.
Several, yes.
I'm your goddamn partner, Jean Vicomar, and this is your special task force. Or what's left of it. Special Consultant Trent Heidelstam, Patrol Officer Judith Minot.
Hi.
We've come to scrape what's left of you off the pavement.
Lieutenant Kim Kitsuragi, Prison 57. We've just come from the island, where our investigation led us.
The scene is making even him feel as though he has to justify your actions.
We might need your help with something later.
Yeah, suddenly regaining his confidence.
As if he recalled that he's in fact a decorated police lieutenant and not a naughty boy.
But this is clearly a departmental matter, so I'm going to leave you to discuss it among yourselves.
Thank you, Lieutenant,
It's good to meet you, Lieutenant Kitsuhagi.
she says warmly, flashing the lieutenant the tiniest of smiles.
Letting the lieutenant know he shouldn't feel embarrassed over the shitstorm that's about to befall you.
Right then, what's this about?
Ari, we want to help you. Trant, I believe this is where you come in?
I don't quite know what I'm doing here. I was asked to participate as an expert. I think I need to manage your expectations a little. I'm at best an enthusiast in cognitive science. My background is in something else entirely. I engage in neurology on a merely theoretical level. In fact, I should probably get going.
No, Trant, it's too late. You're part of this shit now. What have you got to say for yourself, shit kid?
Shit kid. What an interesting moniker.
What's a shit kid?
You. Shit kid? That's you.
Maybe you've deserved it.
So where have you been all this time?
Where have we been? We've been fucking off as far as I remember.
He crosses his arms.
You told us to fuck off. You said we're cramping your style. Your detective god. Fuck everything. All we burn. Detect or die.
I said all those things. I'm not like that anymore.
Sure. You're not a superstar Lao official. Talk on the town is your Guillaume Le Million reincarnate. I know this shit. Nothing has changed.
So, Trant Heidelstam turns out to be Special Consultant Trant Heidelstam.
Yes, I'm Trant Heidelstam. I never said I wasn't Trant Heidelstam.
So what was up with the kid then?
Mikhail? Mikhail is my son.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No problem.
So what are you here special consulting for?
What indeed? I was asked to share my take on some of the more obscure theories developed in Königstein in the 30s, like partial psychotraumatic amnesia, group personality theory.
Uh-oh.
He's here to see if you're insane. He is smart. Let's move on.
And you mentioned a task force.
Yeah, Major Crimes Unit, under Lieutenant Dubois and Vicomar. Ring any bells?
Yeah, totally. I get it. Major Crimes Unit.
He doesn't remember.
See? He really doesn't remember. It wasn't a sick joke. At least that's good.
Yeah, that's very good.
Alright, fine. None of this is ringing any bells.
The bells aren't ringing because you have brain damage. Trant, this is where you come in. How bad is it?
Well, he doesn't have visible tremors, he talks without slurring, he can drive a boat, he's standing, reasoning. All good signs, but complete retrograde amnesia, episodic and semantic.
Meaning, you forgot both who you are and the definitions of money, Isola, Pell, and so on.
As displayed in the station call, our interactions with him, and I don't want to be a snitch, but also mine with him before when Harry did not seem to know who I was. It's all very interesting.
Interesting?
Yes, interesting. I have my theories, but I would like to hear Harry's thoughts first. Harry, what do you think happened to you? Neurologically, psychologically, and why not socioeconomically?
Wait, socioeconomically? You think I'm so poor because I lost my memory?
Not when you phrase it like that. But I don't think critical theory. I know everyone thinks this is far-fetched pink academia, but still, I don't think it should be off the table here.
What? He lost his memory because of capitalism?
Yeah, that's it.
No, not like that. I'm not talking for Hedefort's cool here. But Harry, I asked you, what do you think happened?
I drank so much I lost my memory, and I'm now slowly recovering it.
He is. He's getting better. And I can confirm that he drank a lot of alcohol prior to it happening.
I believe he drank. People do that, especially this one. What they don't do is forget their whole life because of drinking.
I had a weird thought. No. I just had a moment where I was like, it's possible that this entire investigation was in Harry's head, and that Kim was even just a figment of his imagination, and they were just like playing along with the charade. But the more I think about it, the more impossible that would be. Plenty of characters have interacted with Kim before, like the racist guy for one.
But Detective Vigmer, he has blanked out before.
I have.
Yes, a couple of times. After some of the more serious benders. One was after the two drunks case, the other when we looked into that mural.
Interesting. So at first he dipped his toes into it, prepared. That's where he would have gotten the idea, yes. Practice. And then he used alcohol to get there, so to speak.
What do you mean?
Well, here's my theory. What if this is an absolutely normal reaction to the world we're living in? What if this is not a significant anomaly at all? Something to be explained, approached as a defect? Look at the sensory input here.
He gestures toward the scenery.
Look at the ruins, the neon. Listen to the radio, the multitudes, the people. Live here for 40 years. As a police detective, he's like a magnetic reader on the world tape, to borrow a known metaphor. Harry's been pushed flat against it. Total input. Hardwired to the free market. He just needed for it to end.
Okay, Trent, thank you. That's absolutely meaningless. I'm glad we brought you. Will he or will he not be able to work in a major crimes unit? Is he a cretin now? I want to know that.
He's not a cretin, and he is able to do work. If not in his previous leadership role, then as a line detective.
Line detective is good for now.
For now, I misphrased my question. It should have been, is he able to put his clothes on and use the potty? Or do we need to get him on a disability pension?
What now?
Now nothing. Now we're just going to stand here.
Really?
No. Now we discuss that. What the fuck did you do to a motor carriage? Why is it there, Harry?
I drove it into the ocean when I was drunk.
Ah, so refreshing. He just admits it. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for destroying 45,000 real of police property that's coming out of everyone's payslip. It doesn't matter. Your badge, Harry. Show me your badge.
I've got my badge right here.
In a rush to demonstrate your badge, your eager fingers can't sustain a grip on the smooth plastic, and the badge slips out of your hand.
Catch it. Yeah. Did it.
Not today, badge.
The drama is unnecessary. I got the badge. All is well.
And your gun?
He asks, unimpressed by the piece of plastic in your hand.
As if having your badge and gun are natural states, not achievements.
Wait, how do you know I lost my gun?
You lost your fucking gun? I knew it. I knew he lost it. Didn't I tell you? I told you he lost his gun too.
You may have accidentally admitted to losing it just now.
Ah, that's fine.
This isn't cause for celebration. It's bad.
I would say it's very bad, yes. You lost your service weapon while drunk, and then you couldn't find it because you were still drunk. You're drunk right now, aren't you?
I quit drinking. Forever. It's only me in this boring hellhole now.
I don't buy it. Why do you smell like a corpse then, huh?
He's wounded. It's been a long week, and he's handled an actual corpse.
None of this matters. My odor situation, it's meaningless compared to what I've discovered.
What you've discovered? You let the suspect escape, a certain Clasier, because you were too drunk to assess a flight risk.
We've read the report, Sari. Lieutenant Kitsuragis. We know.
Mm-hmm. That was just a small detail in a huge case that you know nothing about.
Sure, if it's part of your master plan. Let's not even get into the other suspect who also escaped. Another detail? Or the fact that you're Everclear's little peony now, doing I don't know what for him. That's small-time stuff. That's nothing. That's a humorous anecdote. Compared to the 8 people who were gunned down, the streets are literally red with blood, Harry. It was fucking mass murder.
He did everything he could. We did everything we could. The company hired and vetted mercenaries. Lieutenant Dubois got between them and the locals.
Here comes the cavalry.
He did so at considerable risk to his own life. He was shot, not once, but twice. We stopped an execution, not a negotiation. The loss of life was minimal compared to what it could have been.
Yeah, it was a massacre. We got wiped. Where the hell were you?
Don't make this harder for yourself.
He says in a lowered voice.
Thank you for the input, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. I didn't mean to suggest you didn't handle the situation.
He brushes a stray strand of hair out of his eye and coughs.
You've spent the week with him on this case. What is your take?
On the case?
On Lieutenant Geoffrey Dubois.
Well, the drinking, the gun losing, also losing the badge. That's all true. Although he has not been drinking on the job this week.
See?
1 week.
Then there's the superstardom. He likes to, from time to time, allude to being a superstar law official. At first I thought it was a joke, but now I'm not so sure. He says disco about 20 times a day.
That's quirky and fun. That's not something to give me a hard time about.
It's worrying, especially considering his political views. Detective Dubois is, as you may know, a Mazovian socio-economist. He wants to liquidate the ruling class, which, again, for a police officer, is a little odd.
I mean, as long as I'm doing my job, doesn't matter about my views, right?
You should yell something.
That's not a good idea.
Yes, let's let the big boys talk.
For sure.
Other still, he is also an ultra-liberal hustler who is always on the grind. How he reconciles these 2 points of view, I do not know. But he is vocal about both of them.
I never said I was liberal, I just said I was on the grind. There's no what's the word I'm looking for? There's nothing at odds with being a communist and being hardworking, is there?
And then there's the motor carriage in the sea, something I was not present for. But despite all this, he is a great detective, one of the best I have seen, in fact.
Thank you. And yeah, the motor carriage in the sea, probably a bit of an issue.
He can talk human beings into telling him anything, and he doesn't stop. In all the time I've spent with him, he has not once stopped working on the case. He is tireless, madly driven. Well, except that one time when he stopped to sing karaoke, which by the way was a valiant effort. He really sang his heart out.
Too fucking right.
Yeah, it was what it was.
Other than that one time, he has tirelessly worked on the case, and he solved it. We have a confession, a murder weapon, and the perpetrator, locked on the island right now, awaiting transportation. He apprehended a straggler who stayed hidden for 50 years, ever since the revolution, who's probably committed other murders over those years. Oh, and he also discovered a new species.
Just a minor footnote in all this, yeah.
A new species?
I don't particularly need Kim to be telling everyone that I found an alien, because that kind of discredits both of us, but nonetheless.
A colossal stick insect. It was on the island, camouflaged as the reeds. It unfolded from the reeds. I think we may be dealing with the Insulindian phasmid.
He takes out the photo of the phasmid and shows it to the officers across the yard. The wind blows, flapping the glossy rectangle in his hand. You hear gasps beneath the howling of the wind.
As you can see, it's about 3 meters tall. In fact, we think it may be the largest land invertebrate ever discovered.
So, as you can see, I'm a pretty okay detective, and an absolutely giant communist.
Fucking hell. Is this somehow connected to the case?
He ignores you, still staring at the phasmid.
The killer did not seem to be aware of the phasmid's presence. Exhibiting a strange, atypical dementia, he fell into a stupor after its appearance. He became near catatonic.
It's probably not connected per se, but the perpetrator knew of its existence.
So it is connected.
I must say, this is absolutely extraordinary. I don't even have words for it.
Yes. It really does make it hard to fire the drunk.
His tired eyes follow the photo as the lieutenant puts it away. Aren't I his boss, anyway? How is he firing me?
This is a very, very sad man who has just seen something that's made him forget his sadness. Now you make your case. Now is the time. Now or never.
The killer. Lilianovich Dross. We have a strong motive for him.
Lilianovich. A revolutionary matronym.
A revolutionary matronym?
The custom started in Grad, where they have patronyms. Krasovich, Lasovich, etc. The revolutionaries saw this as a chauvinist atavism, so they used matronyms, derived from the mother's name instead.
I did want that. Lilianovich did sound very feminine. I didn't know if that was just like a middle name or if it was a surname, but I guess it was a surname thing, right? Like a double-barreled thing? I don't know.
This man's mother was Lilian. His Lilian's son, Lilianovich. The custom was overturned after the revolution failed, but not before it made it to Revachol.
So, it is what a soldier of the ICM would be called.
Thank you, Trant. Thank you for that piece of cultural theory. You said you have a motive?
Of course, excuse me, I just thought it was noteworthy.
I think it was.
He wasn't quite sure about the straggler before he heard this detail. It must have convinced him.
He killed the mercenary in an act of jealousy.
Jealousy? I thought this Lilianovich was an old man. To have been hiding for 50 years. Like 70-something.
A strange psychosexual fascination, the result of spending all this time in solitude on the islands of this bay. And trauma too. He himself gave a political reason. In his mind, he had killed an enemy combatant. Also, we have ballistics from the gun, matching the bullet found in the dead mercenary's head, and 2 officers on the scene that Mr. Dross confessed to.
It's a clean win.
Oh, it's way more than that. Way, way more.
It's my masterpiece. They'll teach this in cop school.
Masterpiece. Get over yourself, Harry. I can still smell the booze on the wind.
I think you've just got fucking booze up your nose, to be honest, dude, because there's no booze on this, Harry. Not a single booze to be seen.
God damn it. Doesn't it ever leave? It is there. Like in your bones or something.
So, what do you say? Want to take this hot shit back?
I don't want to, but you discovered a new species and solved the murder.
I mean, I don't think discovering a new species is part of the job description, but the murder, yeah, that was pretty good.
So I have to. Jude?
Anything that ends the trial is okay with me.
A quick nod.
You haven't been drinking, she thinks. So, maybe this time.
Agreed. The public relations potential of this is too valuable to let go.
Okay. We have vehicles in the square, and the perpetrator needs to be taken into custody. Let's go.
Now you will finally get to know who you are.
Wait, I have a few questions before we go. About who I am, and about who the fuck Dora is, because I just saw that name.
The man looks westward, impatiently,
Gotta be the missus, right?
jingling his car keys in his pocket.
Why am I like this?
It's not a mystery. Some chick fucked you over. Also, you were drunk.
Was her name Dora?
Yeah. Dora Engelund, I think.
Not Dora Dubois.
So we weren't even married.
No one is married anymore. This is Revachol.
When was this?
God, I don't know. 6 years ago, she was way before my time.
6 years. That's. I thought this was like a recent thing. What the fuck? 6 years?
Yeah. Or 7. You're not doing too good there. It's an old man thing. 2 old years equals 1 normal year. That and Dora Engelund really tore you a new one. A big one.
Who was she?
Incredibly bangable.
No, I meant what did she do?
She was incredibly fuckable. A beautiful bourgeois woman. Wayfish. Like a Welkin, basically.
Snow Welkin. Blonde Welkin. Heartbreak Welkin.
I've only seen a picture, but it's obvious you formed a real spiritual connection with how pretty she was. One you never recuperated from.
Look, the sun is about to go down. It's time to go.
I think she taught in the Académie des Arts, east of the river. Way east. Hard to say which came first, the middle-class chick or the drink. Egg and the chicken kind of thing. My point is, you need to see a psychiatrist about this shit. Not a psychologist. Several degrees harder. Is there something harder than a psychiatrist? A forensic psychiatrist? Go talk to that.
In other words, he's heard enough about this.
Okay. Precinct 41. What kind of station is it?
Us? We're the bloody murder station, haven't you heard? We're the bad guys. No one likes us.
I can tell.
That's not true. Jamrock is too big for one precinct. You're just understaffed, and everyone respects the 41st. You have Captain Price.
Thank you, Lieutenant. You're being kind. It is an understaffed station and the district is too big, which is why we need to...
He tilts his head northward.
Get back to it. We left Torson and McLean to run the Sea Wing. It's not good.
Torson and McLean?
Mac the Torso Torson and Chester McLean. They're not fit to run a wing. Believe me. Things are shaky as it is.
They are damn iconic though, Torson and McLean.
An iconic duo, I take it.
Yeah, not like us. Two clinically depressed old men. Where's the contrast here? We are garbage.
Hey, did we recently shoot up a church by any chance?
So he remembers that. Yes, there may have been a raid on some churches. It wasn't good press.
Shooting up churches never is. I was out of town, to be clear.
What happened? Why did we need to go there?
Our enemies were hiding in a church, to the best of our information. That's it. I'm not talking about this anymore. Your security clearance is shit tier right now. You have to wait for it to go up.
Alright, so I work in the bloody murder station.
Okay, it's not the bloody murder station. It's an old converted silk mill with green desk lamps and a coffee corner. A lot of good people work there, hard, every day.
Jamrock is the largest ghetto in Rivachol. Faubourg, technically, but it's divided into 11 districts. Jamrock only has us.
The press will blow over. Jamrock is lucky to have you, and it's often considered to be the greatest of the districts. You're lucky to have it.
Thank you again, Lieutenant.
Okay. Finally, who am I?
Who are you? You're a gym teacher, Harry.
What?
Well, obviously you're not a gym teacher anymore, but...
But before?
Before you were a cop, you were a gym teacher in Coron. It's getting really cold outside. Should we maybe...
That does explain a lot.
Harry, it explains everything. The running around, the jumping, the bicep girth, your inexplicable facial hair.
The collection of foreign sportswear I've amassed.
Some of your more old-school wording choices. Your posture, even. The constant stretches.
God, even this javelin-throwing freak here.
So why did I join the RCM then?
The regular. You found some chick. She inspired you to fight the big fight. Be more than you are. All that.
Wait, Dora?
You, every morning, walking from Voyager Road to teach gym. She, leaving for the academy with her spring coat on. The air filled with the smell of smoke and raspberries, and incredible hope. An ocean full of hope.
Okay, I see now.
I knew it. I knew no normal human being can run like that. He's an honest-to-God gym teacher.
Alright, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. What will you do now?
Well, first I will go back to my station and write the most detailed report anyone has ever seen. It will have to be good to cover all these. Then I will have a serious talk with my captain.
About what?
Detective, we just stopped a small-scale war. Something is happening to Revachol.
He pulls up his collar and looks around, the cold spring light reflected in the lenses of his glasses.
I don't know what yet, but it's going to be a hard spring for the RCM. We need to get ready, infiltrate, investigate.
You want to do that at Station 41?
Talk to Captain Price? I'd rather not ruffle the feathers of two captains with my doom-mongering.
No, I meant investigate. Come work at Precinct 41.
Work with Price? I'm flattered, but I don't know if I...
Would fit in. And crazy enough. Can take the stress. He doesn't know how to finish the sentence. This truly came as a surprise to him. Not a bad one, but he's at a loss.
Flattered? You're Lieutenant Kitsuragi. We would be flattered if you even considered.
I would have to tie things up in GRIH first. But, I mean, whatever is coming, Jamrock will be more central to it than the harbor.
The lieutenant turns very serious all of a sudden.
And we also have a huge caseload, Lieutenant. Piles that we need to get back to. Mountains, even.
I do like the sound of that.
He returns the smile.
He's really considering it.
Right, I'm ready.
Good.
She looks at you. Then at Vikmer. Vikmer? Is that how that's pronounced? I don't know. They've said it, but it won't stay in my brain. I'm no good at French. I'm assuming it's French.
Fuck it, let's go. Tron brought his motor carriage. It's a 20-minute drive to Jamrock.
Under the afternoon sky, the great district hums. A chessboard of wooden houses, 80,000 living souls, and chimney stacks. Fire traps as far as the eye can see. From Main Street to Precinct 41, to Boogie Street, forking into the snow-swept horizon. You close your eyes and hear the dogs bark. A lone woman sits by a factory window, dreaming of meteorite strikes. On Rue de Saint-Jérôme, a square bullet slides into a square-shaped chamber. In Old South, a man without eyelids smiles. Spring has come. It's time. Dawson? Yes. McLean? Yes. Heidelstein? No. Vicmere? Yes. Dubois? Of course. Really? Nix Gottlieb looks up from the list. I hear he's unstable. You say that like it's a bad thing. Captain Potomny Price gestures with a ballpoint pen. It's dim in his office, and the curtains are drawn. Harry's our man. He'll pull through. When he does, he'll side with the people. Understood. Gottlieb returns to the list. Minnow? Of course.
Wonderful. Then can we please just go back to Jamrock now?
And that's the end. What a fucking game, man. That was great. That was great. Big fan of that one. I think, obviously it was incredibly well written for the most part. The ending, I don't know entirely about. That's the sort of only sort of vague gripe I had there. With it just turning out to be like a Deus Ex Machina, just a random dude who we've not seen referenced or know anything about. I mean, obviously, like, the theming's all there, right? They're talking of the general underlying themes of communism and the revolution and everything, and this guy just basically being an unhinged cast off from the war, someone who was driven to this by the socio-economic climate and everything, just snapping and just doing what he was trained to do all those years ago. Like, it makes sense thematically, but it did seem like a bit of a lame duck to a degree, you know, a little bit of a cop out to set up all these characters who could possibly have been the culprit, and then just be like, well, actually, it's none of them. It's this guy over here, you know. But that genuinely, that is probably my only gripe I have. Very cool game. I got confused a lot. I ended up taking my sweet fucking time over it. God, it's been, 30 odd hours at this point. And it was a really good time. So such great world building, such great character writing, such, you know, as far as narrative in video games is concerned, this one is definitely upping the ante, you know. I genuinely hope that the developers of this game put this world to use. That now that they've established all this world building, they've done this really vivid and fleshed out history of this area and everything, and all these different countries and factions and everything, that they actually make more games in the same setting. I think that would be very cool. Not necessarily a Disco Elysium 2 where we see Harry Dubois solve another case, because I think that would be a bit of a cop-out. But just more stuff set in this world, because it's a very cool world and I'd like to see more of it, honestly. But yeah, no, very much just looked up and saw the slur in the middle of my screen. Yeah, voice acting was great, soundtrack was great. I think maybe one thing that was a bit lacking as well, I said I only had one criticism, here's a second one. I think there could have been a bit more animation, a bit more to look at occasionally. I think quite often there were extended periods of my videos where it was 20 minutes or more of just text, and like 2/3 of the screen was taken up by some stationary characters staring at each other, you know. I think maybe they could have done a little bit more with that, but, you know, I don't know. Was this their first game? Was this the first game of these guys? What are they called? Zaum or something? Z-A-U-M, I believe, these developers. I think. This is their first game, then obviously bigger budget for the next one. They made plenty of money off this one, you know. It did very well for itself, as it should. And hopefully we'll see some really cool shit from these guys in future. I'm pretty excited, honestly, pretty excited. Beautiful thing as well, of course, is that I could replay this and do a bunch of things that I just didn't do, you know? A different build would allow me to see a load of different options, complete a load of quests that I had no chance of ever doing. That ice cream container was never going to open for me. And I get the feeling this is one of those games where there's going to be some pretty seriously different outcomes depending on things you do and things you say, you know. I'm sure the general overall plot remains largely the same, but, you know, differences are definitely out there. So if you feel like giving this game a shot for yourself and seeing, you know, how your story plays out, then I would highly recommend it, of course. Game, I mean, I usually end up saying, oh, these games are cheap, just pick them up. This one's not cheap, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not a cheap game. It's pretty much AAA price on Steam, I believe. But worth every penny as far as I'm concerned. So if you like supporting really strong narrative and really cool niche games like this, then This one's a good option for you. This is a good option to throw your money at. Anything else I need to say? Regarding what I'm playing next on the channel, I do not know. I really do not know. There's some stuff I want to play. Unfortunately, I'm kind of going to have to wait for payday to pick a few of them up. I might just find something short I can play in the meantime. I don't know, we'll see. I'm sure I'll upload something tomorrow. Or day after. Within a few days I'll upload something, I can promise you that. But it remains a mystery as to what that might be. Woo. Stick around though if you want to see me play more games that are cool, because I like cool games. I'm a big fan of cool games on this channel. And I really do like to go out of my way to... Oh, I've just thought what I can play, actually. I know what I'm playing. It's coming to me. I'm not going to tell you. You'll just have to stick around and find out, won't you? But I know what I'm playing. If you want a hint, it's another game that was very, very popular in recent history. Last year, I believe it came out. It was very popular. Got very good reviews, and I completely missed. I picked it up recently. So it'll be nice to go back and see what all the fuss was about on that one. But yeah, all that said, I think I am out of waffle. I'm going to let the credits roll, and then we'll end. And I'll see you guys around. Bye. Always has to be a dog bark, doesn't there? Always has to be one. Gotta sneak one in there. Mankind, be vigilant. We loved you. And that's the end. I'll see you guys.